What's going on, guys? I am Pat the Pac-Man, and today we're going to talk about how to set up a routine that is going to get your puppy housebroken properly, quickly, and efficiently. It's not as complicated as you think. It's not as complicated as people make you think. All you need is the right knowledge. If you guys like these videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button so this way you'll know when all the other ones come out, on top of the fact that you'll be notified when our podcast, Barking for Balance, comes out. I'm thinking about calling these instructional videos Pup You. So welcome to Pup You, and it'll all be instructional videos about dogs. Just toying around with it. Hit some comments, let me know what you guys think about it. So, housebreaking. I was actually sitting at my desk over here doing some work on some secret projects that you will all find out about very shortly. And I received a phone call from one of my clients who was struggling on how to get her puppy housebroken properly. So we went over some techniques, and I was like, you know what, let me take a break and shoot a video about housebreaking. Because like I said, it's really not that complicated. All you really need is consistency and just the proper process. So let's dive right into this, okay? Very simple. You need to use a crate and or a pen, okay, with the puppy. If you're not using that, we're gonna include some links so you could go take a look at how to crate train and pen train your puppy. So you should use a crate and you should use a pen. I highly recommend both. Here's the system. You wanna start taking your puppy out every 2 hours. Why every 2 hours? Is because this way they get used to the routine. Now, if you're finding that there's some consistent accidents, and when I say consistent accidents, I don't mean like every once in a while. It's consistently, a couple of times a day. Then you want to back it down to an hour and a half. If there's still consistent accidents, then you want to back it down to an hour. When you're finding that there's consistently no accidents for, let's say, a period of 7 to 10 days, 14 days max, then you increase the schedule. So for our sake, we're going to talk about starting off at 2 hours. So we're starting off every 2 hours. After a period of 7 to 14 days, there's no accidents, then you could bump it up to 3 hours. Consistently, 7 to 14 days, bump it up to 4 hours. If you're finding that at the 4 hour mark, you're finding some accidents, again, on a more consistent basis, then back it down to 3.5. You never want to go back to where you were, you just want to back it down slightly. You wait about a week or so, and then you go back to the 4 hour mark, and then you just progressively increase it from there. You want to end up having to take your dog out maybe 4 to 5 times a day, and that's you letting them know when they are supposed to go out. I'm not a big fan or a big believer that your dog should tell you what to do or when to go out in general. It's part of the establishing direction, boundaries, and limits. And as far as the housebreaking is concerned, if you're not in charge of the housebreaking, then they kind of tend to take advantage of other areas and they try to overpower you and try to take over and establish their own way of doing things in other areas as well. There are 3 circumstances when you're going to want to take your puppy out in between that 2 hour period. And these are very important. The first one is right after they wake up. The second one is right after they eat. Now that one's a little tricky because some dogs need to go out as soon as they're done with their last bite of food. Some dogs can go as much as an hour. So you're gonna have to feel where your dog ranges within that. And then you play off of that. And the third and most important one is right after there's a period of excitement or playtime. Now let me clarify that when I say playtime, that does include chewing on a bone or on a toy, because as much as many people interpret that as their dog calmly chewing on a bone or a toy, their brain is still active. So it's very important that you address that and understand that that is still considered excitement because the brain is active. Even though they're laying down, they're chewing on a bone, it's still considered excitement. That's why I preface excitement / playtime, but because technically that is considered playtime, okay? If you find an accident, there's nothing to do about it. Don't stick their face in it. Don't start screaming and hollering. Guess what? It's your fault. Roll up a newspaper and smack yourself in the head with it. You basically missed an opportunity, but guess what? It happens. Puppies, when you get puppies, you're gonna have accidents. As careful as you are, there's gonna be accidents, so it is what it is. But don't scream, don't rub your dog's face in it, don't do all that stupid, don't do any of that shit, okay? All you wanna do is you wanna simply clean it up and move on. There's nothing to do. If you find a puddle or a pile, bishatso cagata, there's nothing to do about it. Just clean it up and move on. If you catch them in the act, that's the time when you want to address it. That's the time when you want to teach them that this is not where they're supposed to go. That's where they're supposed to go, okay? So you want to calmly, and I can't emphasize this enough, calmly interrupt No, hey, stop. No screaming, oh my God, what are you doing? Get out of here. What are you stupid ass? No, you calmly interrupt. No, hey, stop. You clip a leash on them, you take them outside, okay? That is teaching them that this is not where you want to go. That is where you want them to go, okay? So very important, very important. Understand when to address and when not to address. When you're taking them outside, you want to keep it in short spaces and short times. 10 minutes max, short distances. You don't want to walk for 4 miles for 6 hours until they decide when they're going to go or where they're going to go. That defeats the whole purpose. A bathroom break is a short thing. It's boom, we go outside, boom, we come back in. It's that quick, okay? Now, important about what to clean it up with. What I like to use and what I like to recommend is a product called Nature's Miracle. It's been the best on the market for decades because it does 3 things. Number 1, it gets rid of any smells that we could smell. Number 2, it gets rid of any stains. And number 3, and most importantly, it gets rid of any smells that they could smell. And that's why I recommend it. It's really easy. You get a paper towel, clean up the bulk of it, spray the stuff down, clean up the rest, you're done, okay? And it gets rid of the smells, especially the smells that they could smell, so that this way your house does not become a toilet. Don't use wee-wee pads, do not use bells on your door, and preferably don't use doggy doors. And this is why it's important to use a crate or a pen. So if you take your dog outside and they don't want to go within that 10-minute allotted period, then you bring them back in, you put them back in their crate or their pen, preferably the crate. I would recommend to put them in their crate as opposed to their pen. You give them about 10 minutes and then you take them back out again. Okay, you don't want to just bring them in the house and let them run free. Otherwise, they're just gonna go all over the house basically, okay? Because they're still excited from even being outside. So you put them back in the pen, let them decompress, you bring them back outside. It's very important to not reward them with the fact that they did not do what you wanted them to do in the first place. I don't recommend using treats after your dog goes to the bathroom. What ends up happening is that your dog thinks that just because they go outside, they get rewarded for it. So they're gonna start to go outside or to wanna go outside, much like with the bells and the doggy doors and all that crap. They're gonna wanna come back in and they're gonna look for a treat. So sometimes they go outside, they pretend to go to the bathroom, and then they come back in and they expect a treat. So I don't recommend any of that. What you do wanna do is you wanna monitor the eye contact. And there's a video that I teach about how to teach a dog about looking at you for approval, for disapproval, for guidance, for direction. So you can take a look at that video to learn how to teach your dog to give you eye contact. What's important to understand is that that is your cue to give your dog that direction. So if your dog is having an accident in the house and they look at you, that's why it's so important not to freak out, because basically what's happening is they're saying to you as they're looking at you, I have to go. Is this where I'm supposed to go? And if you freak out, you're just going to confuse them. So now when you take them outside, it's the same premise. So they're on leash, you're just gonna watch what they're doing, give them their space, let them sniff around. If you need to, guide them along with the leash to kind of let them move along if they pick up on a scent and they're getting a little too excited or they're focusing too much on one particular area without doing what you're there to begin with, which is go to the bathroom. We're not there to explore. That's a whole different thing. This is just exclusively bathroom. Now, is there some smelling in going to the bathroom? Of course, but when it becomes excessive, you gotta put some limitations on that, okay? So as they're going, most likely they're gonna look at you. They're gonna give you that eye contact. All you have to do is say, good boy, good girl, just acknowledge that they did the right thing, acknowledge that this is what you wanted them to do, and you're done. All right, guys, so hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got some good learning experiences from it. If you have any questions or comments, hit them down below. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button so you can keep track of all the upcoming podcast episodes of Barking for Balance, or the new instructional videos that we're going to be coming out with, along with your feedback on the title for those instructional videos, Pup You. Let me know what you guys think. Got you next time.